Crazy God story. My life was radically transformed when I stopped trying to do Christianity and started following Jesus. My life became unexplainable apart from God and looked like something out of the book of Acts. I grew up in what I call schizophrenic Christianity. I call it that because it was crazy. We would go to church on Sundays. I grew up in youth group. My family was good at speaking Christianese and convincing other Christians that we were Christian. But if you went to my house, you would have called CPS. When I was 18, I asked my mom why I should believe what she believed, and she didn't have an answer because there was nothing authentic about the religion my family fed me growing up. I always wanted God in my life, but nobody ever showed me what it looked like to be an authentic follower of Jesus. So when I left home, I continued doing the same version of Christianity I grew up learning how to do. It left me tired and broken and empty. By the time I was 30, I had trashed my life. It was an absolute train wreck of a dumpster fire. I was a terrible husband and father. My wife loathed me and I think was about to leave me. I had almost went to prison. I kept trying to change myself, but no matter how hard I tried, I kept failing. In December 2008, I was desperate for a change. I was at home alone one day. I cried out to God and surrendered my life to Him for the first time. I had told Him I was doing it before, but this was the first time it was ever authentic. I put my faith in Jesus to save me and to change me for the first time, and boy did He. It was like God reached into my soul, took the DNA of who I was and replaced it. For the first time in my life, I chose to genuinely believe God and to believe the gospel. Everything I've done in my life since that point has been a natural byproduct of that belief. I started living in complete, absolute obedience to God. He called me to start a non-profit mechanic company where my full-time job was fixing cars for broke people for free. I never gave anyone a bill or had a regular paycheck. The way you see the Holy Spirit reaching the lost with the gospel through followers of Jesus in the book of Acts became the norm in my life. For example, one time I was driving down the highway. There was a truck on the side of the road with a flat tire, so I stopped to help. The guy had a spare, but no tools, so I changed it for him. I tried to talk to him about Jesus, but the conversation didn't go anywhere. So on one of my business cards, I wrote down the name, address, and phone number of a church I liked and gave it to him. About a month later, I got a phone call from a dude named Ron Loveday that goes to that church. He said, the next time you're in town, I want to buy you a cup of coffee. It turns out the guy I stopped to help was a drug dealer for a living. When his tire blew out, he was on his way to kill the 5 guys he was dealing drugs with. He was so shook that the only person that stopped to help him tried to talk to him about Jesus. He went to that church, met Ron, gave his life to Jesus, and was radically changed. If you want to know more about my story or how to get to a place in your life where living by faith and following Jesus is as natural as breathing, check out my book. You can get a free PDF download through the link tree in my bio, as well as the paperback on Amazon through the link tree in my bio.